on the record in 23 CR 396, State of Kansas versus Jacob William Harrington. Please announce appearances.
Jared Regier on behalf of the state.
Joshua Andrews on behalf of Mr. Harrington, who is present in my office with me. Jake Harrington.
Thank you, Mr. Harrington and counsel. How does your client wish to proceed today, Mr. Andrews?
Your Honor, my client has been approved for a diversion. I did receive the diversion agreement last week. I had the opportunity to go over it with him this morning. He has signed off on the diversion agreement. I do have the $250 diversion fee ready to be paid to the county attorney's office. So it will be delivered to the county attorney's office by tomorrow.
All right, let's just set this over for 1 week to make sure that everything goes as planned. And of course, if it does, you won't need to be here. So Savannah, if you would continue this. Well, we don't have court in 1 week, do we? Or do I have someone filling in?
Judge Satterfield is covering on the 29th. I was asked to not schedule anything else on that day.
And I'm not available that morning.
Okay.
It shouldn't matter because, like I said, it's going to be delivered, but just out of an abundance of caution, if we could go out. And unfortunately, the next Monday morning that I'm available, I would be available May 13th, but I already have something scheduled on May 20th. So I'd ask if we could go to May 20th, again, with the understanding that we won't need to have that hearing.
Does that work for the state, Mr. Regier?
No objection to a May continuance under these circumstances, Your Honor, assuming the court is continuing the defendant under the prior bond in this matter.
That would be the requirement that the bond continue with the added condition that Mr. Harrington and counsel reappear May 20th at 9 a.m. only if the diversion is not for some reason filed as anticipated.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I trust that works with our docket. Somehow we can make that work.
It does, yeah.
All right, thank you.
And that was May 20th, Your Honor?
Yes, sir, May 20th at 9 a.m.
Very good, Your Honor.
Okay, we are in recess. Mr. Harrington is excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Andrews, who else do you have?
Your Honor, my next case that I have is Crystal Click, but I was wondering if I could have a breakout room with her.
Okay, so Van, if you could give counsel and defendant Crystal Click a breakout room, and then deputy, who do you have?
Me, Judge?
Yes.
Okay, well, I have 5 people for Patterson, but I have a bondsman here for Sarah Graper, which is a motion for judgment on bond. And then I also have a Richard Hall, which does not have an attorney.
Well, let's take up Richard Hall, and then we'll take up
Richard
Graper, because Graper is Mr. Andrews' client, so maybe we can make that work next.
Well, apparently he walked away and went to the clerk's office for a minute, so.
Works like a charm. Walk away, I call you.
Take up the bondsman.
Well, I need Mr. Andrews back for that. Sort of, probably. Richard Hall has 2 cases when he comes back. Well, let's see. I think I saw other defense counsel on here, didn't I? Is there anyone here that wants to take up a case?
Mr. Wright is my attorney. If
All right, and I think
he's ready.
Mr. Wright, thank you. That's Ashley Kinney.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Yes, James Wright appearing for defendant Ashley Kinney.
Let me officially call that case. We are now on the record in 2021 TR 1465, State of Kansas versus Ashley M. Kinney. Please announce appearances.
Jared Regier on behalf of the state.
James Wright on behalf of the defense.
And how does your client wish to proceed today, Mr. Wright, on this driving while suspended second or subsequent?
Yes, Judge. We were just going to ask for one last continuance to that either May 13th or May 20th date. We've been trying to work out a deal with the prosecution, and we've been invited to submit additional considerations, which I have. We just haven't had a chance to really finalize things. So if we could just go out 1 month, we'll be ready next time.
Well, she'll have her 3rd year anniversary since these charges were incurred come June 26th.
Hmm.
So I hope we can get this resolved by that 3-year mark. Of course, she's had some failures to appear and things of that sort.
Yes, Judge, I've only been on the case fairly recently, but we are going to move diligently on this and be ready by the next hearing.
Thank you. What date do we have for that, Savannah?
Either one works, the May 13th or May 20th.
Which do you prefer, Mr. Wright, if you have a preference?
I really don't, Your Honor. Let's go May 13th.
All right. Miss Kinney, I am going to grant this last continuance for you. This has gone on way, way too long because of your failure to appear for so long. May 13th, 9 a.m. You must be back here by Zoom with counsel and ready to resolve this case either by setting it for trial or other disposition at that time. Your bond,
Yes, Your Honor.
your bond is continued with all existing conditions and the order that you reappear May 13th at 9 a.m. with your counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Anything further, Mr. Wright?
No, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And Mr. Regier, anything further?
Not from the state, Judge.
All right, thank you. Then Ms. McKinney is excused, and Mr. Wright, you're excused unless you have another defendant on this docket.
I do not.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Judge, I got Richard Paul here now.
Very good. We are on the record in 2 cases. Case number 2023 TR 2981 and case number 23 TR 3655, each captioned State of Kansas versus Richard E. Hall. The state appears by and through Assistant County Attorney Jared Regier, and Mr. Hall appears in person and pro se. Mr. Hall, do you, let's see, you filled out an application for an attorney back in February, and we set this for April. Did you? Oh, I'm not seeing an appointment of an attorney in 23 to 2981. Doesn't look like you followed instructions to fill out an application for attorney in either one of those. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, did you decide to hire an attorney or waive your right to attorney?
I lost the paper, but I didn't come back and get another one.
So are you representing yourself then in these matters?
I guess.
Well, did you expect me from February 21st to April 22nd to see no progress on this case because you lost your paperwork and didn't come back to get another? What was your intention?
I was hoping you'd slap a big fine on me and make me carry an SR-22.
And how was I going to get that authority? Were you going to enter a plea of guilty or no contest, or were you going to set this for trial? And I don't understand exactly. I think I might understand what your comments meant, but I don't know for sure, not knowing what it is you're thinking. So can you explain a little more? First of all, are you going to have an attorney? And second of all, are we going to have a trial, a plea? But the second one will depend on what you tell me about the first one.
Well, I'm guilty because I didn't have no insurance.
All right, but are you going to have an attorney? You may recall we talked about that in February, that you can hire any attorney of your choice. If you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply for court appointed, which is what you were supposed to do back in February. Or you can waive your right to an attorney and just continue on your own behalf. But since you were going to do that back in February, it's now the end of April and you still haven't done it. What is your intention, sir, on the issue of the attorney?
Hold on just a second. What was that paper?
Now, who are you looking to? Who's
It's
advising?
looking at me. That's just an information sheet. That wasn't an attorney packet that you filled out this morning.
He filled out an attorney pack this morning?
No, he didn't. It's just that sheet information sheet that we always pass out to everybody.
Okay.
Contact sheet.
Thank you. Well, so what are we going to do about an attorney? Are we going to hire, apply at this like date, or hire an attorney?
I've never done this before, so I don't really know.
Well, it's your choice what you want to do on the issue of attorney. I just need to make sure you understand what your options are. Do you have any questions about the attorney in this situation? Do you want to hire an attorney?
Oh,
Do you want to apply for court appointed?
no,
Do you want to waive your right to representation and represent yourself?
yeah,
All right, I think the officers may have a form there for each case for you to sign. You're wanting to waive your right to an attorney in each case, is that correct, sir?
yes, ma'am.
Now, I don't know what your record looks like, but with these no proof of insurance, you could get your license in a jam in a hurry, bigger jam than it's in, so make sure you take that into consideration and knowing that you can hire an attorney or apply for court appointed. If you're truly wanting to waive that and represent yourself, there are some forms there that if you read those over, you'll see that they're basically saying, you know, you have these rights and you wish to waive these rights. And if that is correct, then you need to sign that and we can move on to the next phase of these hearings.
Am I gonna go to jail?
I cannot answer that, but I can tell you that I don't know that I very often see someone actually go to jail on their first no proof of insurance. Certainly not on the seatbelt. There's no jail time on that. Now, if you're representing yourself, I don't know if you are going to want to talk to the county attorney about what their recommendations might be, because you have two liability insurances, and one could be treated as the first, which has the minimum $300 fine and up to 6 months in jail with probation and option. But then if you plead to the second one and are convicted, then that could be a second one, and there's a minimum $800 fine on that. So if you want to talk to the county attorney, you can, but the first order of business is to shore up what you're doing with the attorney. And at this point, have you signed the waiver? Are you wanting to sign the waiver, counsel?
He hasn't signed it yet.
He hasn't signed it yet. All right, so I just
Still
need,
thinking on
okay. I just need a commitment from you one way or the other. It's your call completely.
it. I can't answer that.
Yeah, he's not there to give legal advice. That's what lawyers do.
Oh, man. I think I'm gonna get an attorney, because this is way over my head.
Okay. Well, that's what you had from February to April to do. So if we're gonna hire or apply, we need to get it done. If you're applying, I'm going to order you turn in your application before you leave this proceeding today. We're not going to come back in 2 months and you still haven't applied. Normally I cover it online, but apparently you wanted to fill out the paper instead, and that's fine. That's certainly more confidential, so to speak. It's,
Yeah. I agree with that. Too many hackers out there.
but if you're gonna do it, well, I don't ask you those kind of questions that hackers can get into your personal. But I do ask them about your employment, pay, and your expenses. So, all right, well, are you going to apply then, or are you hiring? You're applying. All right, and instead of the waiver, if you would give him the application, now fill it all out and sign it where it says to, because I'm not going to let you go today until you've done that. So take that with you and then give it to the officer when you're through, and I'll recall your case today. Or cases.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to take a recess, deputy, and he's going to fill out that application for those for attorneys. All right, Mr. Andrews, we're in recess on Hall. Which case do you want to recall?
If we could recall Crystal Click, Your Honor.
Very well. Ms. Click, if you'll start your audio and video.
Is she still in the breakout room by chance? Because I'm not seeing her now.
I'll look now. See. Oh, she just joined the waiting room, so she must have got kicked out. I'm letting her in now.
And Your Honor, before going on the record, I believe we have a plea agreement with the state, but it involves another case of Ms. Click's, and it would be actually in that case that she would be entering the plea. And I don't believe that's set for on Your Honor's docket today. Is that something that we would be able to move forward with the plea if you don't have that file, or will we need to be setting it over to make sure you have that file to do the plea?
What's the case number, please?
It's 2024 CR 139.
I think we can get that we counsel rather than continuing this case.
Your Honor, if the court is prepared to go on record in both cases, I believe I am in a position to proceed.
Clark, if you can pull yours up, I'll see what I can do here.
Yes, I have it pulled up, but we lost Miss Click again. She's not in the meeting.
All right. Well,
So,
can you add that without much trouble to the docket?
yes, I'll do that now for you.
I'll just refresh and hopefully it'll be there.
Would Your Honor want to take up another matter while we're waiting on Ms. Click to rejoin the meeting?
That would be fine.
Your Honor, another case that I had was Sarah Grapper. I think that's just a motion for judgment on bond.
It is, and the bondsman is here. So let's see. Deputy, can you get the bondsman here now for Grappler?
I am here now.
Thank you. We are now on the record in 22 CR 4115, State of Kansas versus Sarah Barbara Grapper. Please announce appearances.
Jared Regier on behalf of the state.
Joshua Andrews on behalf of Sarah Grapper. I do not believe that she is present.
I understand her bondsman is. Sir, what is your name?
Philip Webb with Second Chance Bail Bonds.
Mr. Webb, do you know where Sarah Barbara Grapper is?
One of 6 places we've been looking for about 30 days now. And we have an amazing co-signer. We're asking for a little bit of an extension. We do have 3 very good addresses that we've seen her at. We just haven't been able to apprehend her yet.
And the state's position, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, the state's understanding is that a motion for judgment on bond was filed with the court back in June, and it was originally set for September of 2023. And it looks like based off my notes from that hearing back in September, the court did set it over to November, but then but made certain orders about there not being any continuances, at which time the defendant did appear. And it looks like there was a failure to appear in November, and then the matter was reset over to today's date and time, so.
I am going to deny request for continuance and grant motion. I will stay execution for 30 days. If defendant isn't in custody in 30 days, then judgment will be due and payable. If she is, then we can readdress the outcome. If there's nothing further, we'll be in recess on Sarah Grapper. So that'll give you 30 extra days to try to find her, Mr. Bondsman.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
And Your Honor, is it the court's order that the order for judgment on bond to issue at the end of that 30-day period, subject to the conditions specified by the court?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hey guys, I accidentally hit a button, but I promise you can still hear the case. It'll go away, I promise. Okay guys, don't kill me. This is me from the future, and this is up on the screen for like 26 minutes. But I worked very hard to record it, so I don't want to delete it, but I'm sorry. This will be the only video I do that in.